Hello everyone, come along with me on our trip to Edinburgh and London. We had a layover at Doha Airport before hopping on our next flight to Edinburgh. Once we arrived, we took the Edinburgh train from the airport straight to the city centre. As we walked towards our accommodation, I was really loving the new town architecture. It honestly felt like we were in a movie. And here's a quick tour of the cozy home we stayed in for the next 3 nights. We walked to a nearby spot called the Cambridge Bar, where we had burgers for dinner. It was really juicy and it was a really nice first meal here. We then ended our day at Calton Hill to see the overview of the city. The next morning, we walked around the old town and passed by St. Giles Cathedral, the Royal Mall and Cockburn Street. We seriously couldn't get enough of the architecture. We also took a stroll through Princess Street Gardens. We had breakfast at the Edinburgh Larder. We went for the full Scottish breakfast and even tried Scotland's national dish, haggis. We also passed by the Scott Monument while making our way to Dean Village. The video really doesn't do this place justice. It's even more magical in real life. We then walked along Circus Lane before hiking up Arthur's Seat. We started the hike around 5 PM to catch the sunset, and honestly, it's a must visit if you're in Edinburgh. You definitely won't regret it. We wrapped up the day with dinner at Bertie's Proper Fish and Chips. Both of us ordered their world-famous battered haddock, and the portions were really huge. On our third day, we walked to our first stop, the Milkman, for breakfast. I ordered their white hot chocolate since I've never tried it before and it was so good. They had yummy pastries too. We headed to Edinburgh Castle. We booked a tour to look and learned so much about its history. For lunch, we went to Marcus Mash Bar, hands down my favorite meal in Edinburgh. After that, we took a bus ride out of the city to try Scotland's first alpine coaster. Sadly, it was a cloudy day, so there wasn't much of a sunset view, but it was still really thrilling and we got a bird's eye view of Edinburgh. It cost about 33 Singapore dollars for 3 rides, and I'll definitely recommend this instead of the single ride option. One ride is definitely not enough. We ended the day with Korean food for dinner. Day 4 also marked our last day in Edinburgh. We managed to catch a sunrise and had breakfast at a nearby cafe. We originally wanted pastries from London Bakery, but the queue was insanely long. After that, we rented a car and headed to Adam Smith's Pannier House. We were really lucky because it's only open to the public on certain dates, and it happened to be open on our last day here. From there, we started our journey to London. Our first pit stop was Northumberland, where we had lunch and viewed Edinburgh Castle from the outside. Fun fact, it's one of the filming locations for Harry Potter. We also came across a stall selling Harry Potter merch, and I bought a few things for my sister. We then continued on to York and called it a day. The next morning, we were walking around when we suddenly heard bells ringing. We followed the sound and realized it was coming from York Minster. We learned that the bells usually ring on Sunday mornings and special occasions. We then walked along the York city walls, which date back to Roman times and were built to protect the locals. For breakfast, we grabbed coffee, hot chocolate, and a brownie from Brew and Brownie. If I had more time, I'll definitely dine in. Everything looked and smelled amazing. A short walk later, we reached the ruins of St. Mary's Abbey before heading to the Shambles for lunch. We were spoiled for choice, but started with the York roast and got the York butt wrap with pork and applesauce. So good, and the pork was super tender. Next, we ordered the ham and pulled pork from the Shambles kitchen and paired with the focaccia bread. Wow, it was super good. We ended lunch with apple and cinnamon crumble served with hot custard, brie topping, and raspberry bits. Equally delicious and such a sweet ending. Highly recommend everything we ate here. After that, we continued our journey to London. Along the way, we stopped by Sir Isaac Newton's family home to see the 350-year-old apple tree. We also explored Stamford, and the town bridge and river made it such a picture-perfect moment. Once we arrived in London, we had dinner at a nearby Chinese restaurant and it was so scrumptious. The next morning, we explored London and saw Tower Bridge and London Bridge before heading to Stamford Bridge, home of the Premier League club Chelsea. We booked the stadium tour and museum tickets from their website and even got to visit the dressing rooms and players' tunnel. For lunch, we tried Spudbro's Express, something I'd seen all over TikTok and I was so happy to finally try it. We ordered the Spudbro's Classic. After that, we caught the dismount parade of the King's Lifeguard, which happens daily at 4 p.m. at the Horse Guards building. We then passed by Buckingham Palace before making our way to Big Ben before heading to Flatiron for dinner. I'm usually not a huge fan of beef, but the steak here was really tender. This place tends to get packed, so I'll highly recommend to reserve online prior to the dining in. On day 7, we went to Borough Market for breakfast. The lobster in the paella was so juicy and fresh. We also got donuts from Bread Ahead. After walking around for a bit, we had lunch at Fowl, known for having some of the best chicken in the area. We then headed back to the hotel to change before going to Stamford Bridge again, this time to watch a Chelsea match. Watching the game live was so thrilling and Chelsea won 1-0.
We're here!
The next morning, we travelled to Essex and met Ray's friend who brought us around town and out for lunch. Fun fact, the main reason we came to London was actually to attend his wedding, and that's why we extended our trip to Edinburgh and London. Here's a quick tour of our cozy accommodation for the next 2 nights. Later that afternoon, we headed to the first wedding event, the Mehndi ceremony, a vibrant pre-wedding tradition where henna is applied to the bride and guests. We got our henna done, and Bray even had a cool dragon design. On day 9, we took a bus to Cambridge where we tried the famous Chelsea bun. We also saw Newton's apple tree at Trinity College. Being in Cambridge felt a bit surreal. I never thought I would see it outside of O and A level exam papers. Jokes aside, the universities were really beautiful, and this bridge here is called the Mathematical Bridge, though sadly it's not open to the public. Next, we visited Audley End House and Gardens, which is easily one of my top favorite places on this trip. If you know me, I love quieter, more nature-filled places, and this felt so peaceful. I really enjoyed the white gardens and the architecture of the house. Later in the afternoon, we headed to the second wedding event, the Sangeet ceremony, a pre-wedding celebration filled with music, dancing, and lots of food with our family and friends. The next morning, we made our way to Mersey Island for brunch at the company shed. We pre-ordered the whole crab platter and Giga's oysters. and they were incredibly fresh. After that, we explored Colchester and had dinner there before calling it a day. On the second last day of our trip, we attended the Hindu wedding ceremony. The food was honestly so good. There were so many different dishes to try, and I loved how each one had its own unique spices and flavors. Everything was so fragrant and comforting, and I kept going back for more. We even spotted some sheep nearby. They were so fluffy. We ended the night with dinner and lots of dancing. The next morning, we woke up bright and early and headed back to Singapore. It was such a lovely trip, and I'll definitely come back again one day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next vlog.